I have so much content, so many topics that I want to talk to you guys about, and I feel like I kind of want to go back to the fundamentals of being a beginner lash artist. I know that most of the people that come here on my YouTube channel are beginner lash artists, and they struggle with technically the basics of being a lash artist. I kind of want to go back to all of that. I miss teaching beginner stuff and the fundamentals. So if you guys are a little more advanced and would like a little more advanced training, head over to my Yoli's Plus. I have all of my new top trending styles, online courses, and all that fun stuff that you guys can easily learn. So if you guys are interested, make sure to sign up on Yoli's Plus. So in this video, I'm gonna give you guys a little pep talk. It's the end of the year, you know, Christmas is right around the corner. So much has happened this year, and I'm pretty sure for a lot of people, because I mean, we're alive, things happen, challenges happen, things get slapped in our face, and we got no choice but to handle it, right? So today we're gonna be talking about unlocking your full potential as a lash artist. So it's gonna be a little motivational talk. I'm gonna give you guys some pointers to help you guys out in your lash journey if that is something you guys are struggling, which I know that me being 5, almost 6 years in, I know these are things that I personally need. Sometimes I need a little slap, a little tough love, a little, you know, push to get me back on my game. So I hope this video gives you some light to keep going in this industry. If you guys are new here, make sure to subscribe and like this video, and also comment down below some challenges you have faced this year. I know that as beginner lash artist, or even if you're a year, 2 years in, doesn't matter where you are in your lash journey. And I'm going to be honest with you guys, it does get harder the more you go. I'm not going to lie, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. And as far as technical, like skill stuff, it does get easier after your first year. Once you get so in the habit of doing it, isolation, making your fans, all that fun stuff, that's the easy part. Honestly, that right there is the easy part. If you could get past that, then it's easy peasy after that. Once you start getting into more of the business, taking clients 8, 10, 12 a day, working 7 days a week, maybe you want to start training, maybe you want to come out with a product line, I feel like each level within the industry gets harder and harder, but more rewarding. And then obviously, the way I see it, that if you are faced with bigger challenges, there's a bigger reward at the end. So don't think of your challenge as a defeat. Think of it as it's going to make me better at the end of this, okay? So the first and most important thing you want to be focusing on in your entire journey is believing in yourself. I know this right here can become very tough if you were never taught to have that self-confidence. And honestly, neither did I. When I first started my YouTube channel, I was so scared of putting myself out there, and it has honestly been one of the toughest but the most rewarding thing that I've ever done, because myself, I am not the extrovert. I don't like putting myself out there. I would much prefer to sit in my studio recording, pushing the record button, and not having to deal with anybody. That's me. But for some reason, people think of me as being very outgoing because I'm so used to putting myself out there, like the camera. But there's a huge difference between being behind the camera and being in front with people. And I'm here to tell you that if I can do that, if I can push myself outside my comfort zone, so can you. And that all comes down from belief and believing in yourself, that you are more than capable of doing anything you set your pretty little heart to. And if you wanting to become the best lash artist around, then you have to have that strong conviction that you're gonna make it happen regardless of what life throws at you. So if believing in yourself is something that you struggle with, I highly recommend for you to sit down, maybe start listening to podcasts. There's so many motivational videos here on YouTube that just help you understand yourself a little bit better. And don't use your setbacks, don't use your flaws or your childhood trauma as a reason why you can't get ahead, as a reason why you're not succeeding or why you're not a better person. If anything, use that as fuel to become better every single day. Like the amount of things that I went through growing up, I wouldn't be where I am today if I let that hold me back. And if I can be a successful lash artist, if I can start my own product line, if I can travel the world training, if I can inspire hundreds and hundreds of people here on YouTube or on my social platforms, just because I decided to put myself in a position where I wasn't no longer going to let anything or anyone hold me back. That is not confidence. That is loving yourself. Confidence comes from believing in yourself. Confidence comes from loving yourself. And those are things that I had to learn the tough way this year. So if that is something that you are struggling with, again, I recommend for you to sit down, start journaling, start listening to podcasts, start reading books, do things that you normally wouldn't do. If you want to get back in the gym and start putting yourself first, focusing on your mental health, your physical health, then do that. Those are things that I had to do this year for me to finally change my cycle of this depression of why I wasn't getting ahead or why I felt like a failure. And those are feelings that everybody gets, but because we get those negative feelings doesn't mean that you have low self-confidence. Everybody gets negative feelings, but I strongly believe that half of those feelings or inputs or emotions were actually put on by our parents and by people around us. So if you need to end up cutting people out of your life that are doing you no good, because instead of them lifting you up, pushing you, making you believe in yourself, they're dragging you down, you don't need those kind of people in your life. I had to cut so many people out of my life this year, and I think that is one thing that I struggled the most, is letting go of people who did not benefit me in any kind of way. I had to completely cut them out, and that is something that you might end up experiencing in your journey, and there's nothing wrong with that. Every successful person that I know of and that I listen to all will tell you the same thing. If somebody is holding you back, then it's time to let go and start focusing on yourself. So again, believing in yourself is the most important thing. I strongly believe that when you start putting yourself first, your mental health, your physical health, and your happiness, that's when you really start to build that confidence that you can do anything.